Meet Serena, your virtual companion for emotional support. The ultimate safe space to discuss your thoughts, your fears, and the ups and downs of daily life. Start your free trial today at serena.chat.
My 42M wife 40F may have cheated again, do I leave? For context, we've been married for 15 years. Have a 16-years-old kid. 2 years into the marriage, my wife cheated on me with a guy from her work. I caught her because one time after, going for a jog at night, she came back with a new shirt. His shirt. With his smell all over it. Things unraveled from there and I was ready to divorce her. Side note, she brought this guy into our house and sat with my kid at dinner during all this. I had every intention on doing it, but she convinced me to give her another chance. We slowly rebuilt trust, though I never fully recovered. Fast forward like 3/4 of a year ago and I saw someone text her via a notification that read like it was mid-conversation. I asked her about it and asked to see the phone. The text chain, with no name, was deleted. She said it was a guy she met while doing work overseas over a 4-day stretch and they were just talking. I couldn't prove anything, but I told her if anything like this happens again, I'm gone. See the pattern on both sides yet? Now, 2 weeks ago, I noticed one of her journals out. She's always said she doesn't care who reads them. She has like 6. She does like to draw, and for whatever reason I thought she might have drawn something and I wanted to see. I'm sure deep down there was something more. I opened it and only 2 pages were written in. The second had a note something to the effect of, "My body needs and craves you." The touch. The smell. The beauty. What do you taste like? Do I even want to know? So a little disturbing. Maybe it was a dream. Made me sick to my stomach. Later that day I asked her about it and she said it wasn't about anyone. Okay. Then that night I have a dream about her and her personal trainer who she talks to daily and sees multiple times a week. It was them being together. I told her about it and tried to brush it off. Then I decided to look at her texts on the computer with him and there were clues that this wasn't a normal friendship. Including him talking about bending over backwards to hang out with me. We were friends too, to make himself seem so selfless. I went to her and asked to see her phone. The few texts were deleted and I scrolled back. Only about 4 days of communication was there. She'd been texting him for a year. All deleted. She acted like she didn't know why, swore it was nothing. Eventually she admitted to deleting some texts, but it was because she didn't think I'd like them. Duh. She then said it was personal stuff he said regarding his family, life and how he wanted to make big changes. Over the next week, she admitted to flirting, but that was it. She also alluded to him wanting more with her. But she was 100% innocent on her side. She also mentioned one time that he fills needs she has that I can't. She now denies that, but it's true. More context during this first week. She had 4 days of 1-hour-long massage, stretching with him at his gym. In a private room that was locked. The most in a week since she started working with him. Before this she and he both asked me if it is okay if they did this work and I didn't care, honestly. I even joked about it. My thought is that it started off innocent, but with these sessions which turned into therapy sessions for both, it became more. I cannot prove anything physical happened. I feel like at a minimum, there was an emotion affair. He definitely wanted more. She admitted the other day that she likes getting attention, which has been a theme in her life since I've known her. Since this happened, our whole family left the gym and she supposedly stopped talking to him. Because of the complete lack of trust, I feel like every time she leaves, it's to see him. She joined a new gym with me and a yoga studio. The yoga is literally next door to the gym. Drives me crazy. I was coming home from the gym earlier this week and knew she'd be just about done her class, so I swung by and waited in the parking lot. I saw her come out and turn towards his gym and wave at someone, then go to her car. I drove by the window and there he was, sitting there like a sad puppy. This whole thing wasn't a good look. She said leaving that friendship has been really hard because he was a huge support for her. 2 days ago she told me I don't support her the way she needs to be. Tore into me. Told me I want to keep her small. The day after that she apologized and said she was just emotional. Fuck. To make things more difficult, we both own a business together and our livelihood involves us working together directly with clients. I don't know if we could continue to do that if we separated. And in this particular industry, if clients knew we weren't being honest, it would hurt the company. So ultimately, here's where I'm at. I do love her at a basic level. She has grown so much and is a decent human. My kid is likely leaving the house in a few years and I have the idea of putting them through this during the last years of HS. My wife's mother is 70 and not in best health. She could maybe have another 5–10 years. She adores me and I fear this would literally kill her. Starting over financially at my age would be incredibly difficult to me. We're on a great track and set to retire early if we continued. I know this shouldn't be as important as anything else, but it is to me. If we do things right, it helps our kid too. Any thoughts would be appreciated. My questions are, even if she didn't cheat, is this enough of a reason to leave someone? Would I be wrong to stick around 3–5 years to set myself up better financially before leaving? Dude. I don't think mean to mean, but it seems like you just keep looking for ways to avoid the obvious. Does it matter what we say? She sounds totally unfaithful. I don't know why you're still there. You stay with a cheater, you're giving her permission to cheat because she knows you'll stay like a good cuckold. She's been cheating on you the whole time. I'm very tempted to ask for more detail about the insanity of the first few lines. How she legit went out for a jog, and came back in a Mons shirt, and somehow thought that wouldn't be questioned. And how her AP was somehow at the table with you discussing everything. But, water under the bridge. Call your lawyer. Build that long-term plan. Have the lawyer recommend a financial advisor that can help you with asset protection. Consider yourself already divorced. Just ignore whatever she's doing because who cares? And then once your shit is ready, file. Grow a set. I'm not a counselor or relationship expert, but pretty sure the fact that since she cheated once already and got caught, and your now constant need to check her messages and such clearly shows you have zero trust in her. So, either you both need counseling if you haven't gone yet. Or, more of it if you have been going. Or, you just need to end things. Why would you want to live your life in a constant state of worry of what she is doing and who she is with? 33M, girlfriend, 38F, demands I pay $200 to continue relationship. My girl got upset yesterday when I accidentally played audio, for work, while she was playing music. We never had this issue before. She got so annoyed that she goes to our bedroom and locks the door. I go to the door and explain that I will put on headphones, but she is still upset and I say, "Okay. Do you want me to give you space?" And she responds, "Yes, giving space is what her therapist recommended that we do when she gets upset like this. She has PTSD. However, she gets even more upset because I failed to hug her while she was upset. She goes for a walk outside while upset and soon enough I follow. Eventually I find her and we talk. We had a conversation where basically she demanded that I pay up to $200 for her to forgive me. Somehow we make up and everything is cool again without me having to pay. Sadly, we frequently have these seemingly minor things that in my opinion get blown out of proportion. Today, she wants to have YouTube Premium, a service I already have, and she wants me to share it with her. I play along and try logging into the YouTube app on her phone. I take her phone, with her permission, and move away so she does not see my password while logging in. I have never had to share my password before and it was a privacy thing to me. She gets offended and claims it is a trust issue. I explain that I have rarely shared my password before and that instead I will upgrade to the family plan, to circumvent me needing to sign in. A win-win, right? She will get YouTube that I pay for and I don't have to compromise my password. She has none of it and gets so upset that she takes my phone and throws it on the floor. She also took a cup of hot tea and threatened to pour it on my computer. She has done this before. I pled that it was not a trust issue and eventually she goes into the bedroom infuriated and locks the door. I plead with her and she does not reply at all. After some time I give up and get back to work because responsibilities. We both work from home. We eventually talk, after work, but she is upset and claims that I promised her $200 to make up from yesterday. To my recollection, I cannot remember exactly promising that and she did not mention it today while we were working, pretty sure she wouldn't have either. I am mostly against giving her $200 as I don't feel that it solves the root issues at all and am scared of what it will evolve into. Will I always have to pay to get out of these issues? Issues that from my perspective seem benign, such as accidentally playing my music over hers or not wanting to give my password away. I admit though, a promise is a promise, so do I have to pay up even if I don't recall saying I will? She will not compromise. I have offered that in our relationship I will more than make up for it, but she is dead set on getting $200. Even if I do pay up, I am fearful that it does not help our relationship. We have been dating for more than half a year. The easy answer here is to not pay. You get out of the relationship and it's free. You can't fix her. Nor is it your job to wait around until she fixes herself. Nor should you ever have to put up with someone telling you have to pay $200 to settle a conflict. $200 for the girlfriend experience? I thought this was only legal in Nevada. If this is not troll rage bait, please leave this abusive relationship. Rolling on the floor, laughing, 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 rolling on the floor, laughing. Tell her you will pay her $200 to leave. I, 28M, can't have children, and my wife, 27F, doesn't want to adopt. TLR, my dream is to be a father, but I'm sterile. I want to adopt, but my wife is against it. And I was adopted. She wants to undergo artificial insemination, but I'm against it. I'll share a bit of my personal story to help you understand the whole situation. I was abandoned by my biological parents when I was very young and was adopted when I was 8 years old. My adoptive parents were wonderful to me, and I have a brother who is the biological child of my adoptive parents, 3 years older than me. I believe that being abandoned had a profound impact on me, and I've always had a strong desire to be a father and have children. I met my wife when I was 19 and she was 18. I've always been open with her about my history, providing all the details, and I made it clear that my dream was to have a family with more than one child. She also expressed a desire to have a family, and this was never an issue. We got married, and it's been about 2 years since we decided it was time to have our first child. We started trying, but she didn't get pregnant, so we sought medical advice to understand if there was any issue. It was then that I found out I'm sterile, and my wife doesn't have any medical problems. I was devastated, but since I myself was adopted, I saw adoption as the ideal solution. I suggested to my wife that we should adopt, but she was against it. She cited reasons that are, in reality, based on prejudices against foster kids. I was deeply saddened by this because when you talk about one of those children, you're also talking about me. We've had many discussions, but I haven't been able to change her prejudiced views. On the other hand, she proposed that we should undergo artificial insemination with an anonymous donor. I disagreed with this because it would cost a lot of money, and I feel it's unfair to act so selfishly when there are thousands of children waiting to be adopted. Our marriage is going through a serious crisis because of this. I can't comprehend how she can hold such opinions about adoption while being married to me. I'd appreciate any suggestions on how to change her mind. I've seriously considered separation because being a father is the dream of my life. However, I still love my wife. Would separating over this issue be too extreme? I'm really lost. Edit. I forgot an extremely important point when I wrote. My wife said that if we had a child through artificial insemination, we would be the biological parents, even though I'm not the biological father. I completely disagreed with that. I believe we need to be as honest as possible with the child. I would point out that you were not in favor of adoption and wanted a biological child until you found out that wasn't a possibility. Does that mean you were rejecting all of those children out there in foster care? Of course not. Neither is your wife. She still has the option of becoming pregnant and giving birth, which is an important thing for some people. Just like it was important to you to create a child until you knew it could not happen. I don't think you are really being fair toward her. And I think you must be honest with yourself that it's not a matter of money. We are talking about artificial insemination, not IVF. To me, this seems like all of this has brought up some painful memories for you, and that's what is keeping you from looking at this from her point of view. If both of you care more about the method by which you become parents than you care about starting and raising a family together, then unfortunately, I don't think there is a way forward. Especially if you're going to make it this much a personal judgment on each other's priorities. In fact, did you talk about anything when it came to kids other than how many you wanted? Because I have a funny feeling this is just the tip of the iceberg on the stuff you disagree on, and maybe you should figure that out before you get any deeper into this argument. You could have stopped after, "She doesn't want what I want. I don't want what she wants. Your desires for how to grow a family aren't compatible. If you can't agree, don't bring kids into the mix. Especially if their mother is going to be someone who holds ignorant views on non-biological offspring. Please don't bring kids into this situation. How is artificial insemination more expensive than adoption? I mean, you could foster to adopt, but that's still expensive, and you most likely won't get a baby, and you run the chance of the child reuniting with family, which is the goal. Have you even Googled the cost? I just did, and sperm costs about $400 to $2,000. You can get it mailed to your house and inseminate yourself. Adoption costs at least $40,000. Also, she may want to experience pregnancy. Using adoption to fill the hole of being infertile is always a bad idea. As a CPS worker, we have many kids get returned to us after they were adopted by infertile couples because they realized that the new shiny baby isn't going to automatically love them or swear undying loyalty. My husband 33M says if I 32F don't make him happy, the Bible says to divorce me. My husband, 33M, and I, 32F, have been married for 8 years and we have 4 kids. Over the years he's become more and more verbally abusive and disrespectful. He's very talkative and he criticizes to no end, it seems. The hard part is I'm on the receiving end of the criticism, and he is always without fault no matter what. He's got major narc tendencies. We were arguing last night until 3 a.m. We've been arguing much more lately because I am standing up for myself instead of being an emotional punching bag. I work from home part-time, cook 90% of the meals, homeschool our 2 oldest children, clean the house and play with the kids all day, every day. My husband works by driving for Uber. Aside from that, he waters the grass and plants, and takes the trash out sometimes. He said that the Bible says if the wife is not making the husband happy, he has the right to divorce her. This is the verse he's referring to, and I think that's a complete mistranslation of the verse. Deuteronomy chapter 24 verse 1-2 King James Version, KJV. When a man hath taken a wife, and married her, and it come to pass that she find no favor in his eyes, because he hath found some uncleanness in her, then let him write her a bill of divorcement, and give it in her hand, and send her out of his house. He said it's not his job to make me happy, so he doesn't try, but apparently it's my job to make him happy. Woman shrugging, light skin tone. Please let me know if I'm wrong. Also, he's insisting now that we have nothing in common because I don't smoke weed and listen to rap 24/7. Like, dang, is your perfect match Snoop Dogg or something, or are you able to compromise a little? Lol. I don't feel like I am solely responsible for his happiness. It has to be his choice to have a good attitude and perspective. It can't be my fault if things fall through sometimes. Update. I told him that since no matter what I do he's not satisfied, so there is no point in being together and we should get a separation. He said that's not what he wants at all, and he wants me to fight for him. I said the only person I have to fight for you, is you. He said I'm so sorry, please just spend more time with me. Blew it. I hate people who twists religion to justify their own selfishness. Why do you want a husband who doesn't like you? Start quoting the child support legislation to him and see if he still wants to quote Bible verse at you. Actually, better not. He sounds like a very abusive person and there's no telling what he might do. Start quietly planning your departure. Once the Bible craziness takes hold of a person, it's a long journey to the other side for them before they come to their senses. He sounds like a real poss. Stop being a doormat and kick his ass to the curb. I think you should tell him you agree and let him leave.